Okay, so as you can see, the tree's starting to come together. I went ahead and actually filled in the top with some ribbon tucks. So that's what we call ribbon, that we're just gonna take about a foot long ribbon and make a loop, and then you're gonna squish it at the bottom and you're just gonna tuck it in the top of the tree. So it creates an illusion of a bow, but it's not actually a bow, it's just these ribbon tucks kind of all tucked around on top. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate. I just left one hole open to go ahead and show you how we do that. But you just basically stick it in. It's really, again, really super simple. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make a bow. This tree's getting pretty full, but there's a couple of spots that we could put bows on, or you can just leave it off altogether. Some people like bows and some people do not, so that's a personal preference at the end. Or if you have a bigger tree and you don't have enough ornaments, this is a great way to fill in those holes again. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut about a foot off for my end, and then we're gonna start making the bow, okay? So you start with your ribbon. Again, you wanna use a wired ribbon because that is much, much easier to manipulate. And you're gonna start with your center, so you're just gonna do a little tiny loop in the center like this. And then you're gonna start creating your loops on each side. So you take your ribbon and you loop it and meet back in the middle. And do the same thing on the other side. And I've got my bolt of ribbon here that I wanna get some length to. Okay, you're gonna take it on this side and do the same thing, create your loop on this side. And then from this point, you can decide how many loops you want on each side. Go ahead and create this side loop. And you're just coming back and meeting in the middle and you're pinching it together. If you can see with my fingers, you're just pinching it in the middle and holding it there while you're creating these loops. I usually do 4 or 5 loops on each side, depending on how big the bow I want. And this bow, as you can see, is already kind of coming together. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and do 4. Again, it's the type of ribbon you're using and how big you want these bows. It's gonna determine how many loops you're gonna do on each side. Okay? So now you've got the basis of your bow, and you wanna go ahead and just cut off the bottom. And then you're gonna take this piece you cut prior and you're gonna put it down in the center. So basically you have a center of your bow where you've been holding it. And you take this other piece, and this is what you're gonna tie it together to hold the whole thing. This tie is actually also going to serve as the tie to tie onto your tree. Okay, pull it tight, and then you want to start fluffing out your ribbon for your loops. You can make this bow one-sided if you're going to put it in your tree, or you can manipulate it to make it dimensional where it's all the way around. Or if you're going to make like a Christmas present bow to go on top of a present, you can do it more on the top where it's going to sit on top of a present. But this one we're going to put in the tree. Okay, so you've got your bow, and then you're going to find a spot. I'm going to put it right in here. Go ahead and tie it on. Again, if you don't want to tie it on, you don't need to. But you can use it like that in your tree and put your bows on. And now you've got your bow added to your tree. And then I would do probably 3 on each side. So a total of 12 bows, but I would start one up here, maybe do one over here, here, and then if you wanted, you could possibly add a 4th one down to the bottom. But that's how you put bows onto the tree. So this tree is basically going to be done Personal preference from here if you want to add or subtract depending on how full you want your tree.